I think I'm in love with you.
What?
I think I'm in love with you.
I'm sorry, what?
I've really enjoyed the time we spent together over the past 2 weeks. You're bright and pretty and very sensitive. And now I think I'm in love with you.
I'm sorry, are you crazy?
What do you mean?
I mean, are you crazy?
Oh, because it's so fast? No, I've thought about this and I really feel ready to say it.
We have nothing in common. Nothing. You know, we don't have one thing in common.
What do you mean? I've never felt this close to another person before.
Okay, that's wrong. We don't click at all, at all.
Oh, but I think we do. We both come from upper middle class families. We both enjoy brown rice. We both like trees. In what ways do you feel we don't click?
In what ways? We don't click in any ways. We don't have chemistry or banter or common interests. You're a yoga instructor. You get colonics. You don't appreciate the chaos and absurdity of life on this planet and in this city. You don't understand irony or ethnicity or eccentricity or poetry or the simple joy of being a regular at the diner on your block. I love that. You don't drink coffee or alcohol. You don't overeat. You don't cry when you're alone. You don't understand sarcasm. You plod through life in a neat, colorless, caffeine-free, dairy-free, conflict-free, banal, self-possessed way. I'm bold and angry and tortured and tremendous, and I notice when someone has changed their hair part, or when someone is wearing 2 very distinctly different shades of black, or when someone changes the natural timbre of their voice on the phone. I don't give out empty praise. I'm not complacent or well-adjusted. I can't spend 50 minutes breathing and stretching and getting in touch with myself. I can't spend 3 minutes finishing an article. I check my phone machine 9 times every day, and I can't sleep at night because I feel that there's so much to do and fix and change in the world, and I wonder every day if I'm making a difference, and if I will ever express the greatness within me, or if I will remain forever paralyzed by the muddled madness inside my head. I've wept on every birthday I've ever had because life is huge and fleeting, and I hate certain people in certain shoes, and I feel that life is terribly unfair and sometimes beautiful and wonderful and extraordinary, but also numbing and horrifying and insurmountable, and I hate myself a lot of the time. But a lot of the rest of the time, I adore myself, and I adore my life in this city and in this world that we live in, this huge and wondrous, bewildering, brilliant, horrible world. In these ways, I feel that we do not click.
So, you don't think it's going to work out right now?
The boat scene.
Yeah, this is actually a scene that I wrote at the lab where Heather and I met. It was the first piece that actually happened in this entire process. And as it stood in the play and then later in the screenplay, it was the sort of big climax to the bad date montage. It was the worst date of them all. And Jessica sort of blows up in response to all the dates she's been on, not just to this poor guy. And it didn't work for a lot of reasons. I mean, you know, first and foremost, I think it was very theatrical and not as cinematic as we would have hoped. But
even with this very cinematic location, it still felt
a little stagey. And secondly, just we shot our way out of being able to even consider it because when we made the decision to have all the bad dates in the same location, it became impossible sort of tonally to then go to a separate location to be the climax of the same section of the film. This just seemed out of a whole nother film. And I remember, you know, Eden, Charlie, Larry, they were all urging us to find more outdoor locations to kind of open up the film. And I remember Charlie and I actually were brainstorming on where we could set this boat scene. Now I call it the boat scene. It was just it was called the click monologue.
Because they don't click.
And we thought of this idea of being in a rowboat, and we just thought, oh, that's genius. That'll just be great. Only to later realize that it was impossible to use this after that bad date montage.
It was very hard for me as the co-writer. I mean, this is Jen's monologue, but just as a writer, this is such great writing and such poetry in a way. And really, really, highlights what's going on in this woman's tortured soul at this moment. So I resisted losing this in the editing room, and yet it did end up being the right decision. It was too much.
I just thought we couldn't have it, and I also felt like we already are flirting the line with Jessica being pretty unlikable in the beginning of the film, which we did deliberately. We said we're willing to take that on, her being flawed and, daring to have her be unlikable so that her change is kind of more profound.
There's some place to go, yeah.
But this scene just probably was too much and too alienating, too condescending. And certainly as the sort of response to a lot of horrible dates, it makes more sense. But standing on its own, it didn't seem to land.
She just seemed a little mean at the end of the day, and you kind of ended up feeling sorry for the guy, not sorry for Jessica, which was more of the point.
Right.
So
and also, I mean, the shooting of this scene was hilarious and so fun because we were just the boats were always moving. It was hysterical.
I don't know how you guys did it. I wasn't there that
hilarious.
day. It sounds insane.
We should also mention, though, James Urbaniak, another amazing New York comedic actor who was so funny in this part. And we just felt terrible cutting this scene. And again, it was our fault. We shot ourselves into a corner.
Yeah,
basically.
he did his work, that's for sure. He was really, really funny in this scene.
So we're glad to at least put his good work on the DVD.
Yeah.
So that the
DVD is a thing of genius.
See how funny he
saves
is.
us.
Yeah, he was great. This last shot was another one we were very sad to lose.
Arches are so pretty.